Hi guys, this is a guide for you to get the Liberty Falls Easter egg done in under 30 minutes. It's a speed run guide with no glitches, no gobblegums, no random luck that you need to rely on, and no reliance on extra players. And there are a few things I need to note before we start. First of all, I'm going to be explaining this with my mouse, like you can see here, and pointing to things as we go. I've also got my timer on screen, so you can see how long my run takes. So by the end, you can see we're in boss fight and we're about to finish it 22 minutes in. So there's loads of time for you to be slower than me and still get this finished. But we should also, just before we begin, talk about loadout weapons. So this is the GS45, as you can see. This is a weapon that you absolutely need to have leveled to 31 in your game. The reason for that is at level 31, you unlock AKIMBO, and that is going to be necessary for this strat to be most effective. You can do it beforehand, but I just wouldn't recommend it. I'd also recommend putting a suppressor attachment on the GS45, as that will get you more salvage drops. And I also really highly recommend this big game augment for your napalm burst ammo mod. We're going to be using that later, so make sure you have that leveled and equipped. And if you want this cute little mystery box weapon charm, and it's there as well, there's a link in the description for you to get that too. Now on my loadout weapon, the weapon I'm actually spawning in with here, I'm using just a standard XM4 with suppressor attachment once again. It's not something that I'd say is essential to be the XM4. It could be any other weapon essentially, but you want something that's good at range, has a pretty good magazine with a pretty quick reload, but the suppressor itself is the most important part because that's what's going to get you these salvage drops. So let's go from the very beginning of the run here, and I'll walk you through moment by moment without any glitches and without any gobblegum. Okay, we're going to do it all ourselves so you can reproduce it. So first of all, Rampage Inducer, right there. Very important to put that on. That's going to mean that the zombies spawn really fast here. Also, look out for this zombie underneath this truck. You can shoot that from the spawn really easily, get yourself some extra points. And then you're going to look for them spawning from that window and over there, or jumping up here, and they jump up on this side as well. Those are going to be your first several spawns, and often one will spawn behind you, just as it did in my game as well. Then we're going to just go over and buy the GS45. The reason we're not spawning in with the GS45, we're using this XM4, is that the GS45 will be green rarity when we buy it on the wall, and we want an AR in our hands because we're going to be getting a lot of kills at range here, especially in this sort of starting moments of the run. So we're just getting these kills at range, like I said, aiming for headshots as well, because headshots are going to get you 115 per kill, as opposed to like 90 or whatever for less. And we're going to consistently each round try and melee that vending machine that's over there in that little tunnel. The reason for that is it can sometimes give you upgrades and perks and things. I'd also recommend doing this jump up to get up here to get these zombies to pour out of the room so you can get some extra points. Sometimes they'll even give you a drop, as mine just did in my game here. Just obviously be careful about not dying while you do it. And the objective for these first couple of rounds is just use your weapons with those suppressor attachments to get as much points as you can from headshots, and pick up the salvage that they drop as well, because we're going to need salvage in a minute. So there's sort of two bottlenecks in the first 10 minutes of the game, maybe less than that, maybe 5 minutes of the game. One of the bottlenecks is salvage, and the other bottleneck is points. I'm grabbing the insta-kill when the next round starts here, and being a little bit less sort of consistent with making sure I get headshots on everything here, just because speed is, it's really of the essence. Getting into those later rounds in these first couple of rounds is going to be very time efficient for you, so I'd recommend just doing that as fast as you can. Make sure you pick up salvage as you go. If you've got an opportunity like this, hit the vending machine, like if you've got a second, or if you have an insta-kill that's running out, maybe just make the most of the fact that you've got that insta and you might as well get some quick kills with it. As you can see, that's what I'm doing here. And once it gets overwhelming, you can open that door up. I wouldn't do it right at the start of the round. I'd wait a little bit just so you get the spawns in front of you. And boom, there's a double points as well. So that's pretty attractive to grab. And I'm looking at my round counter here and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have bugs on round 6. Like I'm going to have vermin round 6. So I might as well grab the double points now, because it's not like I'm going to have zombies round 6 that I could use that double points on more effectively. So I might as well use it now, right? That also means that I'm getting double points on the points that came out of the vending machine. I'm getting double points on stamina up here. And I'm getting double points from the pool table Easter egg, which you can do. And I would also shoot that little panel that you just saw me shoot. Basically, this panel over here is going to be needed for a moment later in the Easter egg. So it's just a good idea to get that shot now so that you don't forget to do it later. And you can kind of chill during vermin rounds because they take ages anyway. And there's not the same kind of rush. You're just waiting for them to spawn in. So it's a good time to shoot it because there's nothing better to do, okay? So if you get bugs on 6, that's good. That is the sign of a good run, really. If you get bugs on 4 or something, then you might want to just reset. You're going to get your max ammo there and wait for that next round to start. Now, every time I finish a bug round, I'm always looking at my points, okay? And I'm looking at my salvage as well, but mainly my points. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got 10K. My target is 13,250. If I'm below that, I know I need to earn more points before I leave this room. So if I'm below 13K, I'm still points farming. So on this round, I'm at 10K, obviously. We're also aiming for 1250 salvage total. Once you get 1250 salvage, you can technically slow down on the salvage a little bit, but it's going to be useful to have more salvage later in the game anyway, so I wouldn't completely slow down on it, but certainly in these opening moments, if you don't have 1250 salvage a little later in the run, then it's going to be a problem. So just making sure you're still grabbing it now is a good idea. As you can see, I'm just trying to get as many headshots as I can here. I think we get a, let's see, that's a nuke. So I don't want to grab that nuke because that nuke is going to kill all these zombies and it's going to end the round, right? I don't want the round to end here. I want the headshots so that I get all the points. And as you can see, imagine if all these zombies just died, I'd still be on 11K. But as you can see, as I farm, I'm going to get a bunch of headshots here because I've weakened all those zombies. Look, we're shooting up to 13. And I'm actually just about to get there here. I got a double points at a really bad time. That was unfortunate. It's fine that I got it here because I'm at my 13K target, so it's really not a big deal. So what I end up opting to do is grabbing the double and then grabbing the nuke as the round ends, just to get myself an 800 instead of a 400 points from it. As you open the door here, this is a little trick that you can do, okay? So PhD is the first perk that we're going to be buying because we're going to be pack-a-punching those akimbo pistols. And if you dive to prone in front of the perk and you press your interact button to buy the perk, you won't do the perk buying animation, okay? So you can just sprint away straight away from the machine and you'll get the 100 points from lying down. So watch this. Boom. Got the points for lying down and I automatically have the perk, no can, okay? So now we keep going. We're going to buy this door and we're going to get this next door opened up straight away as well. The next thing that we're doing is we're aiming for this machine, okay? This is going to trigger the start of the Easter egg. While this is white, because it's going to make the screen go white, while that's white, you're going to go over here to the pack-a-punch, okay? So just so you don't get too disoriented, that's what's happening. And I just packed, okay? That's what I just did. While the screen was white, I just packed. We then keep going through. You're now looking for the groundskeeper to spawn in this churchyard area, okay? The groundskeeper is wearing like dungarees and a checkered shirt, a like sort of flannel checkered shirt and a hat. And the groundskeeper also has his own name tag. So while other zombies just say zombie, the groundskeeper says groundskeeper. So you can look out for that as well. And the groundskeeper is needed for the jet gun Easter egg. If you want just a separate guide on building the jet gun, I do have one on my channel. I can link it in the description down below. But for the time being, we're just going to do it within the speedrun itself and build the jet gun as we go here, because you do need the jet gun for the Easter egg, obviously. So, we're taking out zombies here, and remember I said we need 1250 salvage? This is the area where if you don't have 1250 salvage yet, you're going to want to get it. So I've got some salvage on the ground there. I actually already have 1250, but if I didn't have 1250, I would be making sure that I absolutely get as much salvage as I can here so I can get that 1250 salvage, okay? That is the goal at this part of the speedrun. Once you get here and you're waiting for groundskeeper. Usually, you need to basically take out all the zombies that are in the area and you'll then see groundskeeper appear. So that's what I've just done here. And there's groundskeeper. Okay, so you see how I took out all the other zombies and he sort of wanders in and he's got his dungarees, his flannel shirt, his little beard, and his hat. There are other zombies that kind of look like him, but he does look unique, so you can keep an eye out for him. Now, when he spawns in like this, you're going to take him down and you're going to look for this. You see how there was a little key that flew out of him there? It's this little gold outline item. You're going to need to grab that key. I'm going to see if I can... There you go. I'm going to show you that. That is the next thing that you're looking for from the groundskeeper, okay? You're going to grab that ASAP. You're going to make sure that you've got your 1250 salvage, otherwise this is not going to work, and you're going to buy this, but you're not going to ride it, okay? Be careful not to ride it. Just buy it. There you go. And then you can just drop down here. We're going to go into his little hut or shed. You're going to hold square to open this door. It's going to take a second. And then inside, this handbrake part is on the table. Grab that. And then immediately run to the crafting bench and scroll along to this, the mangler cannon. And you're going to want to use 1250 salvage to craft the mangler cannon. That's what we needed the salvage for earlier on. So go ahead and craft that for yourself. Then we're going to go all the way down here. And there's something you've got to remember every time while you're running to that crafting bench. You should be thinking flower valve, okay? The reason for that is it's very easy to get distracted at this point. I know for a fact that it's easy because I do this all the time and forget flower valve, but you need to remember it, otherwise it's going to really slow your run down. So run down here, immediately take a right, and as you can see just on the side of the flower shop here, there is a little valve that you can grab. So I've grabbed it now. It's going to say flower valve acquired, or water valve, sorry, acquired. There you go. Now we're going to keep running. We're going to buy this door. So also, while you're doing the groundskeeper bit a moment ago, it's a good idea to be doing that anyway just to earn points because there's a few doors that we need to buy here. Like this door needs to be bought. There's another door that needs to be bought for 1750 in a minute. So it's a good idea to have some points. You can see I've got 1900. That's a good amount of points to have at this point. When you get to this car, take a look in the car on the back seat for if Mr. Peaks is sitting here. You can only just see it in my game, but there is a blue bunny on the back seat of the car. You should use the mangler cannon on the car only if Mr. Peaks is in the back seat. And the reason for that is there is a chance that the car is just going to give you a free jet gun. It could just pop out. You can see I'm going to shoot the car here. I'm going to go slow. It's glowing in the back. That's a sign that I shot the car with Mr. Peaks inside it with the mangler cannon. So the Easter egg has triggered successfully. And the gun that I'm going to get out of it, you can see it's green. You see that green outline? It looks like a green sniper. So I know that it's not the jet gun, right? But there is a chance that you get the jet gun. And if you get the jet gun, you can skip some of the next steps that we're about to do, okay? But I'm assuming that you're not getting the jet gun just by random luck from the mystery box or something. I'm showing you exactly how to build it. So that's why we're going to keep going with the build steps. So this is the radio house. You need to use the mangler cannon on the door. As soon as you're inside, look around for piles of trash. They look like this. Okay, they're little circular piles of trash. So there's one just there. There's a pile of trash. You're going to hold square on it. And that one gave me salvage. So that was bad luck. Then let's see what else we got here. And remember, you've got your sallies. So you can absolutely use these to keep yourself safe. But do not use your decoys and do not use your ether shroud as much as possible. Okay, we want to avoid using those wherever we can here. So we're going to just spam a little bit to keep ourselves safe. We're going to keep digging. You can see I just dug this pile of salvage or this pile of trash. Out pops the part that we need. It's got a gold outline. It's this little cable, okay? So I'm going to make sure that I'm safe. I got a lucky nuke, so I'm going to grab that just to get my zombies off my tail. And then as soon as we've grabbed that part, and I was literally on... Was that 1 HP? Damn, that's crazy. Okay, well, I'm going to grab the door here while I run away and I regen my health. And then we're going to climb up and we're going to turn off the rampage inducer. So from this point, the run is actually going to get easier. Up to this point, it's a little bit more chaotic because of all the zombies that are spawning in and running at you at super lightning speed. It's going to get a little bit easier from here. So you just got to remember the steps. That is really the main thing to do. Now, while you're running around, if you're able to find an extra decoy, grab it. I really would recommend trying to get 2 decoys. It's going to make your life so much easier. Also, while you're here, you can hit the machine as well. It just gave me some chocolates, so that was pointless. But you could hit that machine and get a free ether wrench or a free perk or a free ray gun or something crazy. So it's worth continuing to hit that machine, in my opinion. And then you're going to come over to this thing that we shot earlier, okay? For this step, you're going to need to attach the valve. So it's very quick here because I'm spamming like crazy. But you can see there it says place water valve. So we're going to put the water valve on that we got from the flower shop, which is going to go on, as you can see. And then we're going to hold square to turn it. As soon as you hold square to turn, it's going to trigger a load more zombies spawning in. And also, if you've got prioritized interact or something like that on, beware. This is going to get cancelled. This hold to turn water valve is going to get cancelled if you have ammo left in your magazine that you could reload with, if that makes sense. Like, if you've got 30 out of 45 bullets in your magazine, you don't have a full magazine, it's going to cancel your water valve because it's going to start a reload. Okay, so just be mindful of that. I often pull out my knife when I get to this, just to make sure that it doesn't actually cancel it, because the knife obviously can't reload. So we're going to keep going. And you're going to do this animation. Now, it's underneath where the timer is here, but there's a water pressure gauge. You're basically cracking your knuckles for as long as you can before the zombies start beating you up. And you see that as soon as the zombies start actually attacking me and my health is in danger, my life is in danger, I throw a decoy and then I go straight back to the valve. And I'm trying to get this water pressure as high up as I can. Zombies start running back, throw another decoy. I really should have thrown it further than that. That wasn't a great throw. And then we're going to just keep on cracking our knuckles. We're about halfway on the water pressure gauge here. Zombies are back. I'm going to pop my ether shroud. That's why we didn't want to pop the ether shroud before, because it's going to mean that you can get pretty much the entire thing done here just from a decoy, just from 2 decoys, and just from ether shroud. And I think I'm actually going to stick this. Let's see. Yep. I just made a ballsy play and I stuck it out and managed to get those last couple of seconds. You can obviously, if you don't have 2 decoys, it's totally fine for you to basically, while this is all going on back here, you can take out all these zombies and then there'll be a sort of 10 seconds of respite, and you've got papped pistols, so it'll be easy to take out a big horde like this. And that's why I don't take them out straight away. I use up my stuff straight away, because then the zombies are all grouped in this way after my decoy, and then you can take them out with the pistols and that'll be really easy and you'll get a bit of respite and you can keep doing this, okay? So we're going to finish this off here. Now, a tip is, look at my points. I've got 3,000 points. I've got 100 salvage. And also, by the way, you can use smokes instead of decoys if you've not got decoys in your game. Smokes are totally fine as well. You just have to be careful since the hitbox of what they cover is a little bit weird. So, at this point, you can see I've got 3k points, 100 salvage. There's a lot of zombies left alive, but they are starting to incinerate, as you can see. This is because we've just done the step, and it's going to despawn a whole load of these zombies. In fact, all of them are going to just basically bleed out as if you just got a nuke. However, a trick that you can use, and you'll know this if you've been watching my Wish I Knew Sooner tips videos that I've been posting, which, again, I'll link in the description down below. But a tip you can use in this game that works differently to previous CODs is that these zombies, while dying in their nuked animation, can still have points earned from them. So, as you can see, I've got 3k, I'm going to fire off a little bit, and I'm earning points despite the fact that technically these zombies are already dead. It's a really, really useful little strat, and I'm going to get a bunch of salvage from this as well. I think, at least. Also, do not forget this part here. This is what came out of the water valve, okay? Do not forget that. You need that, okay? So yeah, just fire off 1 or 2 shots at those zombies. I guess I actually didn't get salvage in my game. You might get a bunch of salvage. You might get luckier than I did. But yeah, just 1 or 2 shots giving you like an extra 1,000 points. Super worth it. We're then going straight into here, and I'm going to pull out my XM4, so I don't want to swap out my pistols by accident. I'm pulling out my XM4, and I'm hitting square to craft this. We're doing well. You're on track. Boom. As soon as you've grabbed it, there's often going to be zombies behind you, so I would start using it straight away. You can see that I'm going to basically fire it immediately here, and I'm going to suck all the zombies that are around me, and then we're going to drop down, and we're trying to use as little of it as possible on the zombies. You really don't want it to be used up right now because we're going to need to use it a bunch in these next 45 seconds. And your target to begin with here is to suck this tiny statue on top of this motel sign. So you can see that I'm sucking, it starts flying towards me, I keep sucking, I jump into it, and it makes a sound. Let's listen to that.
That doesn't matter now, does it?
You hear the sort of sound? That sound is really important because that is the signal that you did actually pick up the statue. It's very easy with these things not to pick them up. It's very easy to just miss them by accident, right? Completely accidentally. It could happen to you. It happens to me pretty frequently. So listen out for the sound cue. Next, we're going to suck Etherella 4 more times. So we're going to buy this door, and Etherella is going to be on the table here. So suck her. There you go. Another Etherella is going to be on the shelf. Suck her again. See, I didn't grab it. Notice how I didn't get the sound cue here? No sound cue, right? That is really important to pay attention to. So while I'm in my run, I am saying out loud, like, forgot one or something, right? I'm trying to mentally take note of all of the ones that I've got, and I'm making sure that I go back to her in a moment to suck her. So there's another one here on this shelf. You can see it's just here. Got the sound cue. Another one here on this little bench. Got the sound cue. You want to be really careful in here because you're going to get low on jet gun ammo, and you don't want your jet gun to go on cooldown. And if you go to 0, it is going to go on cooldown. So while you're in this room, you basically want to try your best to make sure that you stay above, let's say, 10 ammo. That would be the best. And there's one more part beyond the forgotten Etherella that you can actually see floating in the air. There's one more part in the room we need to grab, which is on the ceiling. So let's see what I do here. Okay, got the sound cue, so I sucked Etherella there. Then I'm going into the middle. I like doing this part last just because the zombies take a second to mantle over it. And so you can kind of run around the room while you're doing the other stuff, getting those 4 Etherellas while the zombies are sort of getting to this room. But then now that the zombies are here, using the mantle to get into the middle is just quite a nice sort of time-saving little trick. So I go in the middle and I suck my part. It's this thing, okay? It's in the ceiling. And you need to suck it. Now, when you grab that part, you actually notice, look at this yellow effect on my screen. So it's coming towards me, and boom, it's been sucked, yellow on the screen. That's a good sign. That means that you've successfully got it. You can also check your scoreboard, and don't be afraid to use some stuff here. I got an insta-kill, that was good luck, but you definitely don't need an insta at this point. It's not a big deal by any means. But yeah, try and make sure that your jet gun is not on cooldown at this point, because we're about to start sucking once again. So you're going to come up here, and there's 2 things that we need to suck here. The first, up here, is inside the floor. Now, honestly, my opinion on this is you've got so much time left in your run at this point that the better thing to do would be to follow my jet gun guide where I jump on the van and then I suck the part through the window. You can see it through the window. There's a purple glow. You can just suck it out of the window and suck it onto the top of the van. That's very easy. However, I'm trying to do pro speedrun strats here, so I'm going to suck it through the floor. as you can see, this is the part that we need. And you can grab it and it gives you the yellow glow. So it's just like a short time save, maybe like a 10-second time save, something like that. But suck from where I'm sucking and you should be able to grab that part through the floor. As you can see, I've got a lot of jet gun ammo left here as well, which is really useful because there's another Etherella on this little window that we need to grab. Okay? Suck her. There you go. And just towards the end, you can hear I got the sound cue there. Just towards the end though, you can see I'm getting low on ammo and I kind of step forwards into it. It's going to make it a lot easier to just sort of bring yourself to her rather than having her come to you for you to suck her. So just grab that and then start running down. And get rid of your jet gun. Get it out of your hands as fast as you can. Now, we're going to suck Etherella one more time before we start moving on to other steps. She's just perched on this little window by the church and you got to suck her in the church. So that's what I'm doing here. Sucking her towards the church. Now, I'm not going to bring her all the way inside just because at this point, I am really trying to do other things really fast. So I'm just sort of sucking her halfway. And that's going to mean that it's going to be a lot easier later when I'm doing a later step. That later step can't really be sped up too much, so it's just good to have her halfway at this point. So get her close. Come inside. You're going to suck the hat now. There's a lot of sucking in this Easter egg, I'm sorry. So I jumped to grab that. You can see the yellow effect happens. There we go. I'm going to hit this machine because it makes a clunking sound, and who doesn't love a clunking sound? Then we're going to go and build the LTG. So, at this point, if you check your scoreboard, there will be 3 LTG parts, okay? You need to run through here and run to this zip line, as you can see. That's going to take us to the build station on the left corner here, where we can build the LTG. We're going to do that ASAP. Boom. And grab it. Make sure you don't just build it, because it can be easy to forget this, to be honest. You can build it here. That's lovely. Constructed. But once it's built, actually pick it up, okay? You need to make sure you actually pick it up. Grab the LTG. Take the zipline all the way back again. There we go. And we're going to place the LTG down on this pad just here. As soon as this happens, I have a little speedrun trick that I think is going to make your life a lot easier. Okay? You're going to notice I actually leave the portal for a moment and I go and shoot the church, right? That might seem weird, but if you've watched my All Liberty Falls side quests video, you'll know this is actually going to give us a load of rewards in a moment, okay? So we're going to do that. If you've done it successfully, you'll see this little blood splatter, and then I'm going to start defending a little bit, okay? Now you can do this with the Sallies, but you can also do it with the jet gun. The jet gun is really great for this. The purple zombies are the ones that affect the portal. The regular zombies will just chase you. They won't damage the portal. So if they're portal, they are higher priority. Notice I'm quite low on ammo here. Not the best, okay? Not the best. You ideally want to sort of keep your ammo a little higher on this just because you want to defend it a little longer. But we are going to leave it a bit early here. So I'm just really trying to make the absolute most of my ammo. I'm getting very low, down to 1 ammo, and then I've actually, unfortunately, run out of ammo there, so that's going to stop me doing a nice pulse blast here in a moment. But that's fine. Not a big deal. What I'd recommend you do is just suck individual zombies so you don't use up all of the ammo like I have. And that way, in a moment, you're going to be able to use the alt fire to take out the mangler that spawns, but it's really not a big deal. I'd also like you to pay attention to the fact that look how much I'm low on pistol ammo, okay? I'm really conscious of the fact that I'm very low on pistol, and now I don't have my jet gun. So this is a little sketchy. I would not do this. There is no need for you to do this as sketchily as I have done. So I'm pulling out my mangler cannon, my last shot, just to try and make sure it doesn't get destroyed. Technically, if you've got plenty of ammo, you are going to be totally fine to leave once this gets to about 10 seconds remaining, because your portal integrity is going to be like 2/3. And so you can just leave it, and sure, it'll tick down a little bit, but it's not going to get destroyed. And that way, you can go and grab your canister while you're waiting for the final moments of the portal to complete. However, for me, it was just a bit too close, so I stayed here a little longer and just made sure that I could defend it right until the end. So my thing is done. You're now going to have all this stuff waiting for you on the floor, which is great news because we shot the head earlier, and so there's lots of points that you can grab, and that's going to be very useful in a moment, and there's also lots of salvage, which is also going to make a really big difference. So I'm grabbing a bunch of this. This right here is a big deal. This blue wrench is a big deal. Okay, this is going to put your green rarity pistols to blue rarity for free. And that's amazing because that means that we can spend all our salvage on other stuff at the arsenal machine. You'll get this blue wrench, I think, if you do this particular step on round 10 or higher. I believe if you do it on round 9 or lower, you get a green wrench. There is an element of RNG involved anyway, but you're much more likely to get it on round 10. So if you're on this step and you're on round 10 and you get the blue wrench, then you're in business, baby. You're in a really good spot here. So grab that wrench. You see my weapon goes to blue rarity. It's going to do more damage. I also know I am going to need to grab ammo here because I'm about to have an HVT spawn in, okay? I'm going to get an Abomination or a Mangler, and they're going to take a whole lot of ammo to take down, so I'm making sure that I'm maxed out here, and because I've just done all that sucking by the portal, I've got plenty of points, so I can grab ammo. Oh, I failed to grab it. There you go. I grabbed my ammo. I'm grabbing a little bit of the extra salvage that's just around the place, and I'm doing all that, remember, while this HVT is spawning in. So this is a really efficient use of my time. While that Mangler is also spawning, I'm going to run over to the arsenal machine, and I'm going to quickly grab myself Napalm Burst. This is best if and only if you have the augment for Napalm Burst to damage elite enemies. If it doesn't damage elites, I would recommend leveling up your Napalm Burst augment so that it does, because we need to use the fire damage on the Abomination and on the Mangler. Okay, so there you go. Gonna grab that. This is our HVT. This guy needs to get taken down in a specific place, but in order to take him down in that right place, we need to grab the canister, and I haven't done that. You could optimize this a little bit by, for example, going from the portal, doing a little loop in here and grabbing the canister, and then walking outside and then grabbing your ether wrench and your points. That's how I often do it, but sometimes I just mix it up a little bit. And you can see here, I've got no armor, and I'm low on health, and he's winding up a cannon. The opposite of a suck. He's gonna blast me. At this point, I can't sprint because I have the ether canister in my hands. And so I'm just gonna be like, you know what? It's not worth trying to grab the ether canister and take it all the way to completion here when I could just be saving my life, saving 10 seconds, and then going and grabbing it afterwards. Like, that's totally fine, okay? So I drop the canister by pressing circle on my controller. I run outside. I avoid his blast. I give my health a little second to regenerate. He starts winding up another blast. By that point, I've got my health back. And so then it's fine. It's not a big deal that he's shooting me, right? I'm also going to take some pot shots at him as I walk here. I think I'm going to turn around in a second, probably, maybe. There you go. I'm going to turn around, take some more pot shots. Be careful of the fact that the cars are going to explode. Okay, so this one's probably going to blow up here. You're going to see it. There you go. And it's going to stun you. Just be wary of that. It's a bit dangerous, but it's okay. And you want him down to about like K health, where his K is there. You're going to see me do it here. I'm really chunking him down because I've got the blue pistols, single pack-a-punched with Napalm Burst. They're doing a ton of damage on him. Once he's about that health bar, drop your canister next to the trap here and go activate it. Then come back, stand inside the purple because he's going to run around, and you're going to want to basically ensure that you take him down inside this. Now, it's very, very easy for him to just charge out of the thing and for you to get impatient and accidentally not kill him in the correct area and not charge your canister. It's very easy to do. So please take my advice and be patient here and stand in the purple if you need to so that he doesn't sprint out of it, because he's never going to run out of it if he's chasing you and you're in it, right? Once it's done and it's done successfully, you'll get a max ammo and your canister will be charged, and we're going to hold square on that, and then we're going to take out a load of stuff around me because I've got 24 HP and that's a bit scary. There you go. Be careful of that car. That car could have killed me just then. That was very spooky. And you're not going to be able to sprint while you've got your canister, but thankfully you can play up. So feel free to play up and walk it all the way back to the church. There we go. Now, while you're walking it here, the thing that you need to be thinking, you need to condition yourself, okay? You need to really force this into your brain. As you're walking your canister back, you need to be thinking, pick up LTG, okay? Do not forget to pick up your LTG. You're going to see me here. I think in this gameplay, I might have even forgotten, and my chat reminded me. Trying to get the canister in there, having a bit of trouble. I was trying to clone it, but we didn't do the clone, so it's fine. So we put the canister in, okay? And then I'm like, okay, what do I do now? I'm having a brain fart. What do I do? And this is fine, right? We've got so much time left in the run. If you have a brain fart, you're still going to be okay. Even though the multiphasic injector is still not inside the machine, I've actually messed up here, and I'm like, just really trying to get it inside, and I'm failing. I'm wasting all this time. Look at this. It's so inefficient. You can just place it inside. You don't need to do this. I was just trying to do something else. But yeah, I failed to clone it. It's a glitch. It's just something I was experimenting with. So I did it the normal way. Multiphasic injector inside the machine, and then it's picking up LTG time, okay? We're also really low on health here, so I'm like, oh god, I'm scared. I'm looking at the machine. You're going to need to grab the Strauss counter as well, okay? So you're going to put the multiphasic injector inside the machine, grab the Strauss counter. That's very important. Then you're going to run outside. This route I'm running here runs past the LTG, which you need to grab, okay? It will disappear. You can see the, oh look, my mystery box looks so cute. There we go. That's me grabbing the LTG. And we're now going to activate the 3 Strauss projectors. So slide off this, don't use it, okay? Go and look over here at the Strauss counter color. If it's yellow, you need to set the device to yellow, okay? So I'm going to hold square on it once. It's going to go green. You need to wait about 3 seconds. Then it's going to go yellow, and I can leave. The next one I'm going to do is, after pulling out my knife so I can run faster, it's going to be down here, and I'm going to suck the penultimate Etherella while I'm down here, okay? So it's green on my Strauss counter. You saw that, right? There you go. It's green. That means it needs to be red. So anytime it's green on the counter, the projector needs to be red. Anytime it's red on the counter, the machine needs to be green. So this one, I'm going to do all 3 times. One more. There you go. And then it's back to sucking. She is resting just below the L. Okay? You can see her there. Suck her. Wonderful. Then we're going to go all the way to the 3rd projector. This one is a little bit further away. You should pull your knife out. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. It's going to slow me down just a little bit. There we go. Found a score streak on the floor. Yoink. Might be useful. Might not. We'll see. Turns out it's not useful for me, I don't think, but we'll see. Might be useful for you. I wouldn't grab like a chopper gunner or something though. That's going to be pointless. Buy this. That's going to let you just zip across to here. At this point, if you've got a ton of salvage, it doesn't hurt to just quickly get yourself an upgrade, for example, to your weapon rarity. If you've got bad RNG on your wrench earlier, you might have 1,000 salvage here and you can go from green to blue rarity. Totally fine for you to do that now while this is blowing up. And I can Strauss counter early as well here. So I know it's red. So I already know this needs to be green. So it's just one click, boom, it's green, it's done. But there's another Etherella. I lied, it wasn't the penultimate Etherella. This is the penultimate Etherella. She's inside the AC vent, and you just need to get her there. Perfect. Now, we are placing our LTG once again. So this little pad where the storm is where the next LTG is going to be placed. Boom. Wonderful. So we're doing that on 1337. We're making really, really good time here. That's going to spawn in zombies once again for you to defend. At this point, I would defend it most of the way, okay? Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but as you can see here, I'm going to have a pretty good portal integrity by the end of this, and I'm just going to try and keep my jet gun ammo reasonably high. So I'm doing a lot better than I was before, right? You remember before I was on like 10 the whole time? Now I'm much nearer 40 to 50, so I'm doing a lot better a job. Trying to make sure I take out all those purple zombies, and any other stragglers are also valid to be taken out. That's fine. That's not a problem. So I've got full integrity still, so I'm doing really well here. Couple more. There we go. And I'm now thinking, okay, a Mangler has spawned. There's 15 seconds left, and it's got full integrity. There's no way that this is going to get to 0 once the remaining zombies spawn in, right? It's going to maybe get to half at worst. So I can go do whatever I want at this point. I could also take out this Mangler, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my alt fire just to get him out of the way, get him out of the game, make my life a little bit easier. And I'm going to grab the ammo that the Mangler drops, and that's quite a good tip that you can use as well, is to make sure that you've got enough ammo for this HVT that's about to spawn. Kill that Mangler, and then grab the ammo that he will inevitably give you. Then we're going to go grab this. This is our next canister. And you're going to drop that next to this trap sort of pad thing, like we did before. And then I'm waiting for my HVT to spawn. Okay, so there it comes. It's an abomination. Like I said, if you've got your napalm burst damaging elites augment, then it's going to make your life a lot easier here. But look how fast I chunk this boy down. If you don't have that augment and you don't have blue pistols at this point, he's so strong. So you're going to want to really make sure that you've tried to do that. That's why I told you to use your arsenal upgrades earlier if you got the opportunity. Okay? Now, this guy's annoying because he does a lot of charging around. So it can be a bit fiddly, but as you can see, I'm trying to stand pretty close to it so that if it does charge, as it just did, or if it does bite, it's going to still stay inside the purple. And I'm going to just be using up all my ammo here. And if you run out of ammo, there is an ammo box just there underneath the end of my right pistol tip. And that's going to mean that you can just grab ammo. You've got enough points. It's fine. It's totally fine to buy ammo for this. In fact, I might even need to do this here. Okay, thankfully it died from the trap and from my blast. But there we go. Got me my max ammo. That means my canister is charged. So we're going to grab this. At this point, you need to be so focused on 3 things, I would say. Number 1 is the timer of the canister, okay? Number 2 is sucking Etherella in the church. Very important. Number 3 is buying perks, because at this point I've got 7,000 points left and I'm about to go into boss fight with 1 perk. If I go down during boss at this time, I'm going to lose PhD. That's going to be really bad, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend my money on the door and on Jug, and I'm going to dive to prone to skip the Jug buying animation, and then I'm going to take out Spider just to make my life easier. And I even actually had enough to buy Speed Cola. I got pretty lucky with my points here, to be honest. Having Speed Cola, non-essential, okay? Definitely non-essential. I'm keeping my timer in mind, so I've checked off one of my 3 things. 1 of 3 is done. Perks. Next is going to be Etherella getting sucked into the church. We're going to take the canister all the way up here. And you're going to see that I'm going to switch to my jet gun in a moment. And I'm going to make sure that she is completely inside the church. If she's not in the church, you're going to screw this all up. So there she is. You can see she's just outside. Bring her in. Being very careful not to grab her too quickly. Or at all, actually. You don't want to grab her at all. You don't want to do it fast or slow. You just need to not do it. And as you can see, if you just sort of walk backwards while sucking her, she'll stay a pretty close distance, but she won't come too close. So that's the sort of perfect happy medium. And then, so that's Etherella in the church, number 2. Then number 3 is your timer. Place your multiphasic injector inside the machine here and wait about 5 seconds. And as you can see, this little pop-up is going to appear. Activate the SDG, start the final encounter, okay? The reason we've sucked Etherella all the way inside, you can see that she's just floating around there. The reason we've done that is because we're going to be using her during the fight, okay? But we don't want to use her straight away. So what I would recommend is, as much as during the different stages of this fight, it is useful to use your jet gun a lot, I would not use your jet gun on this side of the room in case you accidentally suck Etherella, okay? You don't want to do that until it's time. So just be mindful of it. We're going to wait for zombies to spawn in for a moment here. I'd recommend to kick off. If you see a decoy on the floor, by the way, grab it. You really do not need to have the Strauss counter still in your inventory here. There's no need for that. A decoy would be really useful if you find it. It's going to make your life a lot easier later. But take out those zombies. And towards the start of each phase, I think sucking is a good idea. I think that it's just going to mean that you can get through those zombies very quickly. It's going to mean that they die a little bit faster than using your pistol as well. And if in your game you end up, by the way, getting 17,000 points during the fight, which does quite frequently happen, buy pack 2 on your pistols, okay? Just remember to do that because it's going to make everything easier. So don't just get to the end of the fight and realize, oh, I had 25k. I didn't realize, right? So I'm sucking the zombies here. I have my first mangler spawn. This is good. This is an indicator that you are about 1/3 of the way through this first phase, okay? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my alt fire. So that's going to get rid of all my jet gun ammo. And it's going to mean that the mangler starts taking a bunch of damage and it's going to clear the zombies around me. That's going to give me a really good opportunity, as you can see here, to take that mangler down with my pistols. And he's going to go down really fast. But I obviously took a lot of damage just then. And so now it's really important for me to survive. So I'm taking more damage. I'm a bit scared. I've just noticed in the peripheral vision of my eye, I do have a decoy on the floor, so that'll be useful in a minute. But for now, it's survival. So I'm going to try and dodge these shots. I'm plating up. I'm taking out the vermin because they cut through your armor. They hit you through armor. And I'm grabbing that decoy. Boom. Throwing the decoy because now I can use my alt fire once again, do a bunch of mangler damage, clear the zombies around me. I guess I didn't really need to use the alt fire, to be honest, because the zombies were going to go to the decoy. So that could have been optimized. But then I'm going to take the mangler down as fast as I can. And also, I am still aiming for kind of his head, right? His helmet's popped off here. You might as well keep aiming roughly for his head, because if you're shooting at his toes, it's just much less likely to do headshot damage, right? So just keep aiming for his head. I think that's a good habit to be in the habit of. And you're then going to have another mangler, as you can see up here in the rafters. Be careful of his shots. He will snipe you out of the air, so be mindful. He's spawning in, taking a lot of damage from my pistols because they have the damage to elites attachment on. Actually, that's not even necessary for those ones. They're just good on manglers. And I'm going to do a little bit more sucking. Now, what I should be doing here, now that those 3 manglers are dead, is I should be insta-killing these zombies. I just had a bit of a brain fart. I was like, oh, something else is going to spawn in. No, nothing else is going to spawn. I should just be taking the zombies out here. I would have saved like 5 seconds. Boom. Once that's done, you're going to see all the souls flying into the machine over here. Maybe one more zombie. Kill the zombie, Milo. Come on, kill it. See? Could have optimized it a little bit more. There you go. The last zombie in the first wave is going to give you this. It's a full armor upgrade that you're not going to need to grab straight away. So don't be like me and think about grabbing it. You don't need to grab it straight away. You might as well just get your jet gun out and suck these initial zombies. Just copy what I'm doing here. Nice and easy. Trying to maintain your ammo. Just using that as your way to get the ammo, to get the zombies taken out early on in the round. Very straightforward stuff. And I'm trying to keep enough in my reserve here so that when I see the mangler spawn in, as you can see, it's then time, for the final time, to suck Etherella. So I just sucked her. Okay. That's what's happening here. Where is it? There it is. So you can see that the statue is just floating in front of me here. So I'm doing my final one, and you can hear the sound when it finishes. There you go. You're now going to become Etherella. Now this is crazy. This is just crazy. This will shred in this boss fight. And so your priority 100% of the time is the elites, okay? Always prioritize the elites. So I had that big mangler, right? I need to take that mangler down ASAP. When you get the abomination, you need to take the abomination down ASAP. The unfortunate thing in my game here is that I got really slow spawns, as you can see. Like, I'm just having one zombie at a time, and I'm still waiting for this second phase to end. This is not ideal, right? Yours will probably go a lot faster than this, and if you're lucky, you might be able to finish this Easter egg under 20 minutes with the method that I'm showing you in the video here, okay? But because my RNG was bad, I thought that would be a better example to show you guys, and you can see it finally ended second phase then, just because I got that max, okay? Finally ended the second phase. That's the signal for that. So that means that the abomination is going to spawn in about 30 to 45 seconds from now. So I'm taking out zombies as fast as they spawn in just by swinging around. It seems to do better damage if you aim at the zombie for a second and then aim away. So I kind of swing my vision around quite a lot when I'm in Etherella. Like, while you're inside her, you can do a lot of damage, but sometimes she'll just, like, aim at the floor or something, and it's just a bit weird. So use up as much Etherella on the elites as you can. Failing that, if there's no elites present, use it up on the regular zombies, as I'm doing here, trying to spawn kill them as much as possible. And eventually, your Etherella will run out. So I'm using it on the mangler there. I think that's just a regular mangler, so it's not an HVT. It's not a red one. It's just a regular sort of standard one, I think. That mangler is dead. And there's my abomination. So like I said, about 45 seconds or so before it spawns in. It was fairly slow. At this point, you might be lucky. You might still be inside Etherella. And if you are, then that's really perfect because you can just do loads and loads of damage. However, I'm not inside Etherella, and so I'm going to show you what it looks like to sort of do this without that as a nice little addition to this video. So be very careful of the vermin because they'll be chunking you and they'll chunk through your armor. So be really, really careful. Grab your free armor if you need it. And you do mentally want to do two things here. First of all, I popped an Ether Shroud just to get boss damage. I shot the wrong boss originally, and then I was like, oh wait, it's meant to be the abomination, whoopsie. So I popped my Ether Shroud just to try and get as much boss damage as I could. Hardly did any. That was actually a really bad Ether Shroud. Now we're going to keep going. And what I'm basically doing, this is an area that I use a lot. So in this fight, when you're on the stage like this, you're obviously going to have all the zombies flowing up towards you, or they're going to be climbing to mantle. Okay? If you drop down, their pathing changes completely. Like, they've already started walking up here. This guy's, look, he's had his ankles broken. Like, I just passed him and I'm about to shoot a three-pointer. He's like, how the hell did you get there when I'm going up here? He's got no idea what's going on, okay? So using this little ledge to get up and drop down can be really helpful. I really highly recommend it. I'm almost doing a little loop on that little ledge here just to really mess the zombies up. And boom. Notice how earlier on I said, if you get to like 17k points, you're going to get to pack 2. It's going to make you do so much damage if you're still in the fight by this point and Etherella hasn't finished it for you. Okay? So as you can see, now I'm starting to do some damage and I'm getting shots into the mouth, which is really important too. Get a load of shots out. Remember the fact that you've probably been bitten a bunch, so your armor's going to be low. There you go. And I'm really focusing the boss here. I'm really sort of not spending a lot of time focusing on the zombies. This is me doing a jump up because I know... Wait for it. I'm going to turn around here for a moment. I know all these zombies are behind me, right? And I absolutely want to avoid them at all costs. And my pistols are not going to do the trick. So I'm going to get up here. It's beaming me, and that beam is going to cut through armor and just do health damage, so I'm going to try and get behind the pews to sort of hide a little bit. I'm also managing to stun it there, which was really good. That was a good stun with the pistols. I'm very low on health. Don't be like me and play this close to death. 7 HP. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. You've got 9 minutes left, right? This is 9:35. Well, no, that's 9 p.m. It's 21:35. You've got 8 minutes left. You may as well just take an extra 10 seconds to get your health back. Like, it doesn't hurt, okay? As you can see, I didn't do that, but I was like, I don't care about speed cola. I'm good. I want boss damage. I'm trying to finish as fast as possible. I really just... That's my only goal right now, is to finish. So, we're going to be chunking the boss as much as we can. Notice I'm low on ammo. I'm going to grab this ammo as I go past, I believe. There we go. There's ammo on the floor from the manglers that we killed earlier. I'm going to change weapon, grab that ammo. But you can also just buy ammo. That way you don't have to reload. So that's going to be pretty quick. There we go. And yeah, I guess I failed to grab the ammo. So I'm going to just go back again. There we go. Grab the ammo this time. And taking out a couple of those zombies chasing me, but mainly just focusing on the boss, trying to aim for its mouth, because you will be able to get crits as well. Like, just because you've got explosive doesn't mean that you can't crit. And 800 to 6 grand is a big deal. So focus on its mouth. And once you shoot your final shots, there you go. The boss will die. Take out any remaining zombies, but you're going to get downed because the machine is going to blow up, as you can see. This is intentional, it blowing up. You downing here is intentional. And as soon as the screen goes white like that, that is the end of your time. So there are a few things you need to do here. First of all, you need to do this Easter egg speedrun and then let me know what your time was in the comments section down below. Number 2, you should consider subscribing if you found this useful. Like if you're sitting there going, huh, that was a really great guide. I learned a lot. Then now's a great time to hit the sub button. And number 3, there are 3 videos linked on screen right now. One is the Easter egg guide. If you need a quick reference, use the MrRoflWaffles guide. It's always going to be the best one. Number 2 is the jet gun guide in case you want some bare bones tips on building that as well. And number 3 is a video designed perfectly for your interests. It's been picked by the algorithm for you, so you could click that one as well. Whichever you choose, I hope to see you again in another video soon.